Hey guys, it's Kirsten. I keep getting interrupted. Okay, so this image was sent in to me last night or this morning. I don't even know what day this is or month. Anyway, so here are a couple of the positive things. I absolutely love that you were looks like on your stomach taking this picture. I love the low angle getting right on her level. That's fantastic. And clearly you understand how to make the background vocalicious. That's fantastic. A couple observations. Okay, so 70 to 300. That's fine. Usually the rule of thumb, if the focal length is 300 millimeters, you want to shoot no slower than 1/300th of a second your shutter speed, and maybe even a little faster than that, just to avoid, camera shake or images that aren't really crisp. So if you were going to have your shutter speed at 1/300, you would be forced to raise your ISO maybe to like 400. Your f-stop is fine. So next time I would definitely try raising the shutter speed and raising the ISO so it meters to 0. When you shoot underexposed like this and then raise the exposure, you always get a little grain. So you want to expose in your camera, meter to 0 in your camera. So the picture should be pretty beautiful when you upload it. You want to enhance pictures in Photoshop or Lightroom, not fix them, because that will hurt your dollar per hour in the long run. Okay, so that being said, so this is why you shoot in RAW. Ta-da! You rarely cannot recover an image. It's always recoverable. Okay, so we're gonna raise the exposure just so we can see what's going on. So you can see it's a little bit noisy, which happens when you raise the exposure like that. Okay, but it's totally, I know this is a relative or your grandbaby or your something like that I read, which is fine. If this was a, client, they probably wouldn't even notice it's a little noisy, but it's sellable, 100%. Okay, so I don't know what this baby looks like in real life as far as skin tone, but I'm gonna warm it up. I'm going to warm it up a smidge like that. Sometimes I just bump the contrast a little bit. I don't like really super contrasty images, but that's totally a preference. I am going to lower the highlights to recover the texture in the blanket. The sky does not bother me at all. I'm not even going to let that even be a care in the world. Let's bring up the shadows a little bit in the back, not a ton. The white slider, when I move the white slider, I don't look at the slider, I look at her face. So like all of a sudden that looks terrible. I'm going to do it at like 15 because to me that looks great. I usually bring the vibrance up just a little smidge, maybe at 10. One thing I check, I go to the curves, the curves option right here, and darks. I usually move the darks up a little bit. That, to me, in my opinion, makes the skin tone really creamy. Okay, but now that we've made all these adjustments, I think I'm going to warm it up a little bit more. Let's do 7400. Looks really cute and good. I'm going to just go a little bit like that. That looks beautiful. Now, the only other thing sometimes I will deal with under optics right here, I'll click on these two things. The first one doesn't really apply here, but using the profile correction of the camera, sometimes depending on the lens, if there's a little bit of warping or the image doesn't look totally proportionate, clicking on that helps a little bit. I'm going to bump up the contrast a little smidge. Okay, that looks really cute. I'm going to go ahead and open this. Okay, so I had I have bokeh brushes, and so I just did Control J, and I was just kind of I would never. This is not real life here. This is just playing. But the reason I did that, actually, those look. We're gonna do that again. Actually, I normally do a layer like this. Control J or this. They look a little bit big. I was just gonna. Well, now these look too small. looks like diarrhea. Hang on a second. Those look too small now. I'm going to do it one more time. And I've had these brushes for like 100 years, so you can just Google like bokeh brushes and just um, probably find them that way. Okay. I don't know if that looks like stupid. The other thing I played with, you can go File, Place Embedded. I have a folder on my external hard drive called Overlays, and you can kind of play okay, with a black background, you just change the blending mode to screen. Let's use I love that. I'm going to put a layer mask on with a black brush. So hit X to get black. And then if you, on the brush, if you right click anywhere in the picture, you can change it back to just the nice soft brush. And we're going to just paint it off her face in case it got on her face like that. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and commit to this. So I'm going to flatten it. Okay, that's really cute. Okay, so I have, let me zoom up a little bit. So see how it's like just slightly, it's a little noisy, probably from raising the exposure so much. I have under filter, the one that comes with portraiture, well, not comes with, I had to buy it, but I do have a Noiseware. See how that helps a lot. Wow, that actually helped a lot. Okay, so now let's just pretend I'm going to just hit save as. What I normally do is I put the letter E after it for edit. So when clients order their images, I can give them, it's easier for me to select the ones that have an E next to it. So I just like bing, 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 send them. Also, if they, like a couple years down the road, they were like, oh, I can't find my digital images, I need you to resend them, I know which ones they got. One more thing that I think is maybe kind of bothering me a little bit is this random flower doesn't quite mesh with everything else. So if you select it and hit backspace, content aware, yeah, just to kind of get that out of there. Okay, this looks awesome. And then you just go back and hit save. Okay, so now the cool thing is, so now we're going to open the second picture. Okay, so you go open. If this was a folder, I would have go to bridge. So that was 298. So let's see what 345 looks like. Okay, this is also hysterical. Okay, so we opened this image. Now the thing that's really awesome, these three dots right here from the update, the three dots right here, you can go click on previous conversion. So that brings you, boom, right to where we just were. So you don't need to start from the top each time. However, a couple things I'm going to look at. I'm going to look at highlights. I'm going to bring those a little bit. Everything else looks good. It looks a little contrasty to me, so I'm just going to bring it down a little smidge. Okay, so now what you did to one, we probably should do to the other, except for the bokeh brushes. I wasn't like 100% loving that, but place embedded. Let's, oh, I hate that it starts, it should just know what I want automatically. I'm I'm going to hold the shift. Just move that down a little bit. Okay, that's adorable. I'm just going to flatten, save, save as. I'm going to just slap an E on there so I know which ones are edited. Boom. Now I'm going to go File, Open. And if you use Bridge, it's going to be a lot quicker, obviously. So that was 345. Now let's try 365. Let's see what that looks like. Okay, this is also adorable, but I suspect this one looks a little bit, so this looks like a little bit like camera shake to me because of the slow shutter speed. Ooh. Yeah, and it's really noisy too. So this one, and the bow's covering her eye, so even though she's smiling, I think I might scrap that one. Toes are always cute. We'll go to the previous conversion. That's cute as is. I would go ahead and hit save. However, I'm just going to skip over that and go to the next one. I have to leave for a meeting in a second. But let's see what this last one. Why didn't it open? That was weird. Oh, because it's a sidecar. Never mind. Duh. Okay. Clicked on the wrong thing. And apparently I can't read numbers. That's 398, which we already did. Did I hit them all? Or am I missing something? So that one's totally, I would scrap that one too because it's way out of focus. Okay, so anyway, there's a couple things that hopefully you learned, took away from this. Play around with your manual settings because you definitely have a lot of things going for you that are correct, and then a few things that just need to be tweaked a little bit. But that huge big ass lens, 70 to 300, you definitely want a fast shutter speed to keep it nice and steady. So, okay, hope you learned something. Bye.